You in there? Hello? Okay, I'm ready for you. I want to start this off by, as you saw from the title, this video is about 10 things I bet you didn't know about life here in Ecuador. And I think I got the camera a little bit too close. What do you think? I think I'm going to back it up a little bit. So there, that way you can still see. Okay, there, that looks better. So 10 things I bet you didn't know about living life here in Ecuador, and I'm particularly talking about Manta. Okay, before I get started, I just want to give you a little quick update about my accident that I had last week, last Monday. Many of you know, and probably some of you don't know that I fell. I took a fall, and I tell you what, it wasn't easy on me. I and I don't know how I did this, but I want to show you my new tattoo that I got as a result of this fall. There it is, right there. It's all in living colors, black, blue, there's some yellow and some orange in there. This is, if somebody can tell me how I managed to bruise the inside of my arm when I landed on my shoulder and on the back side of my arm, I'll give you $1. Still got these nasty cuts back here, but I'm gonna survive. I'm getting to where I got more mobility back. I can raise my arm up. At least I can raise it up enough to get deodorant on. I went most of the week smelling half my body stunk and the other half was sweet, because I was able to get deodorant over here. So anyway, I'm going to survive it. I think I may have to have something done to my shoulder because it already needed surgery for a rotator cuff injury, and I was kind of thinking I was on the mend from that, and then here I fell. So anyway, enough of that. 10 things I bet you didn't know about living in Ecuador. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, Jeff, on the phone, and I don't know what brought the subject up, but I told him about something and wasn't even aware of it, and I wasn't aware of it either until I came here. But it's going to be the first item on this list. I got 10 things here. I'm going to read some of it to you. I'm not doing this through a teleprompter. I'm doing this on my phone and I have notes, okay? 10 things that I bet you didn't know about living here in Ecuador, and particularly here in Manta, because that's where I live, okay? So I'm just keep that in mind, okay? I'm gonna get started on this right after this. Hey, Joe, Rocket Chick, Roger. Hello there. Number one, no self-service gas stations. Bet that's a real shocker for somebody. When you pull into, if you're driving a car here and you pull into a gas station to get gas, you're not going to get out and pump it yourself. No way. You try that and you'll probably, don't tell them, I don't know what's going to happen to you. They're not going to let you do it. You pull up to the pump. I always do. I had $20 in my Cedula in my hand. I say Echo full. Echo is unleaded gas, and then full, use the full $20 worth. Or you can mean fill up the tank, okay? Oh, this is what Stella told me to say, and that's what I say. I say Echo full, and they do it. They don't check your oil. They don't check your tire pressure like we used to do back in the old days. But once in a while, you'll get in one station where the guy will clean your windshield, okay? Now, you don't have to, but I usually, when they do something like that, I usually tip them, okay? And they certainly appreciate it. And guess what? Well, I was going to say something about tipping, but actually tipping is part of one of these items here I'm going to talk about, okay? Let's see. Number two, Ecuador uses the US dollar, but has its own coins. Okay, now I may have to oh, no, I got one in my pocket. I got to tell you something, man. You got to get used to these things here, okay? Here's a picture of this thing. This is a dollar coin. Okay, now this thing was actually minted here, even though the Ecuador uses the U.S. dollar. It's been dollarized since the year 2000. They do have their own mint. Okay, let me see here how I worded it. They mint their own centavo coins. Okay, a lot of Americans don't realize that, they even have an Ecuadorian quarter, and I've got one here too. And what's funny about it is that when you look at it, it says on the front of it, it's United States of America, 25, let's see, quarter quarter dollar, and on the back, I can't even tell what that is. Shit. Okay, here's another one. No, that's something. Oh well, never mind. They have Ecuadorian quarters too. Speaking of money, folks, don't come here with $2 bills. Okay, I mean you can, but don't bring $100 worth of $2 bills. You're 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 going to have them for a long time. When you give somebody here a local a $2 bill, they keep it as kind of like a treasure. It's a good luck thing for them. And I don't mind giving them $2 bills. As a matter of fact, I've bought $2 bills from people just so I can give them to people as part of a tip, you know. But you're not always going to want to tip $2. All right. So I'm going to talk more about tipping here in a minute. Um, okay. So yeah. Okay. So that's that. That's that. That's number 3. Number 4. A lot of homes cook with propane tank. Instead of having gas piped in like we do in the United States and Canada, they use these here. They use these 15 kilogram LPG gas cylinders, propane gas. Okay, and they sell for like $1.65 per cylinder. That was in 2025. Okay, and what's funny about it? Well, it's not funny, but what's unique about it is that there's trucks that drive around the neighborhoods loaded up with these tanks, and you see them. Sometimes you hear them coming because they have a loudspeaker announcing themselves. You see them coming, you go out and you get a tank from them. They'll actually bring it in for you, get your empty tank, tank it back, and then you pay them, and you got your gas, your cooking gas. Now in my building here, we have a big tank on the roof, and I pay $8 a month for gas, whether I use it or not. Okay, but most of the houses here, the restaurant down the street, La Novia del Toro, the great hamburger joint pizza place down the street here from me, every day I see their truck pull up, and they've got tanks of propane that they take in for them to cook with. Okay, number 5, WhatsApp. WhatsApp. I know we talked about this before. And you probably already knew this, but let me tell you something. When before you come here, put WhatsApp on your phone, put it on your kids' phone, put it on your grandkids' phones, put it on everybody, all your friends. Tell everybody to get WhatsApp because it's the easiest way in the world to communicate, especially here. Okay, I came up. Want to contact a restaurant? WhatsApp. You want to make an appointment with somewhere? You do it on WhatsApp. Talk to the building administrator, like here where I live, like, did my package arrive today? Or, so and so is coming to visit me. Please let them in. WhatsApp. I do it on WhatsApp. Order something? WhatsApp. Send somebody your location? WhatsApp. Now, here's a real shocker for you. Maybe you need a doctor? WhatsApp. I can contact my doctor, Dr. Rosal, here in Manta. Great doctor. It's in Venezuela. He's a man's man. He's a good doctor, and I use him anytime I'm sick. I reach him on WhatsApp. And the last 2 times that I had to reach out to him, I I didn't go to his office. I asked him to come to me, and he came to me. I paid a little extra for it. I think I paid $60 instead of a $40 visit. It was $60. Okay, show me that happening in the United States, where you get a $60 home visit from your doctor, your primary care doctor. That's on WhatsApp. WhatsApp is very important here, okay? You got to have it. I communicate on WhatsApp several times a day. Several times a day with multiple people. Texting, leaving voice messages, and talking on the phone. And it's free. All you need is a local phone number, okay? If you don't have WhatsApp, get it on your phone, okay? And whatever you do, don't try to message me on Facebook Messenger, okay? I'm going to ignore you. I'm just going to ignore you. If you WhatsApp me, you're going to get me right away, okay? Yeah, I put down here, in the U.S., we tend to think, what's your website? In Ecuador, we often ask the question, what's your WhatsApp number? Number 6, I'm going to have to put the phone aside and go inside and get something. Be right back. Excuse me. Coming through. Don't hit the phone. I should have taken this out there before I started. But, you know, me not being prepared as usual. Well, where the hell is it? Oh, here it is. I've talked about this before, and we're going to talk about it some more now. And I hope I get the phone back where it was. Sorry, excuse me, sorry. One would think that I would cut all that shit out before, but no, you get to, this is live. This is the Don Shader show, okay? Number 6, your cedula, okay? That's this thing right here, okay? I'm gonna cover up my number, not that I really have to, but look at that happy face, okay? This is my cedula. This goes with me everywhere, okay? In the United States, you know, we protect our Social Security number, and we don't just free to give it out to anybody. I bet you I've given up my cedula number here to more people since I moved here 5 years ago than I ever gave out my Social Security number in the United States. And you know what? I haven't been hacked yet here. You give your cedula out for everything. It's like once you get your residency and you got your cedula, give you a really good example, okay? When I go to Dulce and Camoso and have breakfast in the mornings and I go to pay, even if I'm paying with cash, well, in the beginning, I'd give them my cedula. Okay, now I'm in their system and they all know me and they automatically know to tie my transaction to my cedula or tie the cedula to my transaction. So, and guess what happens when I do that? The receipt comes back with my name on it, and that transaction gets recorded at SRI. What is SRI? Don, what is SRI? And there's a damn truck using a Jake brake on a tiny little hill over here. Okay. Just love it when these guys use a Jake brake on an 18-wheeler going down this little hill in front of the mall. It's loud, it makes noise, and it makes them look big. But anyway, all right, back to the cedula. Sorry. That transaction goes to SRI. What is SRI? SRI backwards is IRS. That's the best way to remember. SRI is the Social Security system here. It's all things money in Ecuador. Okay? It's all things money. When you do a transaction and you're over 65 years old, at the end of the month, you can file a tax return and get your tax money back that you paid on that transaction. I get anywhere from $75 to $130 a month back in sales tax money that I spent during the previous month. And by the way, I use that money to pay for my EIS insurance. Okay? Talked about that a couple of videos ago. So, the cedula is everything. You use it When you go to the doctor, you know, go to the pharmacy. The first thing you give out is your Cedula. When you go to buy, I use it to buy anything. I don't give it out when I'm at the local tienda or something like that. But at everywhere where you're spending real money, you give your Cedula. Okay. All right. Number 7, restaurant tipping works very differently. Americans arrive conditioned to think 18, 20, 25% tip. That doesn't mean you can't leave something extra for exceptional service. You certainly can, but the North American tipping ritual isn't automatically transplanted here. Tipping's not required here. All right? It's not required. In some circles, it's not expected. But you know what? I tip. I tip everywhere I go. And there are a lot of expats that don't like that. And they don't like the fact that I tip more than $1. I tip at minimum 10% at the restaurants. I tip the guys that carry my groceries out to my car. I don't care if I have 1 bag or 20. The guys take my groceries out to my car for me, and I tip them. I usually tip them a couple of dollars, sometimes more. At Christmas time, I really tip them. But you know what? The nice thing about that is that the next time you go back in that store, those guys are going to know you. They're going to remember you, and you're going to get first-class service every single time. All right? The guys in Mega actually stumble over themselves when they see me come in because they all know that dude tips. Okay? I'm not bragging. I'm just telling you. What goes around comes around. You give them a little. They're making minimum wage, and you know what minimum wage is? $4.75 a month. That they make. Sometimes they can make $5, $10 a day on tips. That's half of their pay, and they certainly do appreciate it. Okay. Number 8, voting is considered a civic obligation, not merely an option. I didn't know that until I came here. Everybody here, every citizen here, local Ecuadorians are required by law to vote. Now, once they hit 65, it's optional for them. And then, of course, the younger people, 16 to 17, they don't have to vote. All right. I wrote down here, for most Ecuadorian citizens between 18 and 65, voting is compulsory. Voting becomes optional for several groups, including people over 65, which I just said, voters aged 16 to 17, and eligible foreigners. Okay? For an American audience, that's a major cultural difference. I know. So there's an interesting expat angle. Eligible foreigners can eventually acquire voting rights to Ecuador, although their vote is optional rather than compulsory. So, at some point I can vote here. All right? It's not required. It's not optional, but it is for the locals. Number 9, the little neighborhood store is still a major part of everyday life. This is something Americans of our generation remember, but younger Americans increasingly don't. I'm talking about the little tiendas. Okay? You don't go to Mega to get a loaf of bread. Well, I do, but excuse me, I'm sorry. I do. But I could just go right down the street here, right behind where I live here, just up the next block, very short block. There's a little corner tienda right there. It's a little family-run little store. And you'd be surprised what they carry in that place. You need a beer? Go there. It's $1. It's amazing how cheap stuff is, in these little tiendas. It was estimated that there were like 150,000 tiendas in Ecuador in 2025. 150,000, that's a lot. So, I put in here, I said, you don't necessarily drive 10 minutes to Walmart because you need eggs, a Coke, bread, or milk. There may be a little tienda just half a block away. Okay? And then number 10, the last item, okay, everyday life is far more cash-oriented than many Americans expect. When I was living in the States, I very seldom carried cash in my pocket. I could carry $100 for 6 weeks, and hardly ever need it. Here, cash is king. You need cash money. I tell people all the time, one of the first things you got to learn when you come here is cash management. I'm not talking about budgeting. I'm talking about having change, because everybody, taxis, the little tiendas, the neighborhood markets, they all take cash. They don't have credit card machines. And you'll find, especially if you're here without a car and you're taking taxis for transportation, you're going to need that cash. You're going to need those dollar coins, okay? So you're going to learn to hoard cash. In Cuenca, they got cash change machines where you can drop in a $20 bill, and I think, if I remember right, I'd get $15 coins and $5 in quarters back. And that was in Cuenca. We don't have that in Manta. No, we don't have change machines in Manta. Mayor, you hear that? Somebody please explain to us why we don't have change machines in Manta. But anyway, you're going to have to learn to manage your cash. All right? And don't bring $100 bills and $50 bills. 20s, 10s, 5s, and 1s. And when you get here, you're going to hoard $1 coins because you're going to need them. I actually have 2 bonus items here I added. Number 11, addresses can work very differently. Instead of assuming that every destination has an easily recognizable North American style street number, directions can depend more heavily on intersections, landmarks, building names, and WhatsApp location pins. Send me your location becomes remarkably normal. I don't have a street address for my building. When I use my address here, when I buy something from Amazon, yes, I buy from Amazon all the time. It's Torrey Marina, my apartment number, the street that I'm on, and the cross street. Everybody that delivers here knows where that is. It's not 1625 North M1 Avenue, Manta, Ecuador, and a zip code. We don't use zip codes here. I use 00000 when I'm required to put in a number. Okay? Now, I know somebody's going to come back, no, we don't have zip codes here. They used to have zip codes here. And they do have zip codes, but nobody uses them. Okay? Just like we don't have mailboxes. So, that's another thing a lot of people don't realize. We don't have mail service here. When you want something delivered here, you get it delivered by delivery service. And then the last thing I'll put down here, bonus. This is a bonus, election weekends. When it's election weekend, there's no booze. You can't drink booze. It starts like Friday at noon to Monday at noon. You can't have booze. Well, you can't buy it, okay? They won't sell it to you in the grocery store. But when you get here and you find yourself on election weekend and you don't have booze, let me know. I'll tell you how to get it, because you can get it. Because they have no real legal enforcement system here. And there's ways, you know what I mean, to get booze. So, that's it for this one. Somebody's been calling me ever since I started recording. I think it's my sweetheart, Stella. But anyway, I hope you got something out of that. If you like this channel, subscribe. I have 9,400 subscribers. How come I don't have 10,000? I have 9,400 subscribers. I've been doing this channel 5 years and I can't get over 9,400 subscribers. But anyway, subscribe if you want. If you like this video, smash that thumbs up button. If you didn't like this video and you didn't get anything out of it, bite me. Okay? Have a nice day, and I'll see you on the next one. Ciao, ciao.